So let's say you have your favorite lure, and your favorite lure you want to reproduce over and over again, but you don't want to take the time carving it and making it out of wood. So we're going to show you how to reproduce this one over and over again out of a silicone mold. First thing we need to do is make a box to hold the mold. This is just plexiglass. It's mirrored plexiglass. It doesn't have to be mirrored plexiglass, but anything will do. So we're going to make a simple box out of this to hold the silicone, which is going to be the mold material base for this lure right here. We're going to start off with a hot glue gun, and we're just going to simply glue these pieces together. We're then going to take the ends of the plexiglass and we're going to drill a hole through it. We're going to put hangers on each side of these so we could suspend the lure inside of a silicone mold. On one of the sides, we're going to attach a hook. The last piece I'm going to leave without an eye on it. This way I can take a paper clip and straighten it and run it through the eye, through the hole, and make it my own hook for it. So now we have some mold release that we're going to spray into the mold box itself, and it's going to help everything release and the silicone pop out a little bit easier. So here we go. Now it's time to put the lure into the mold box. So this right here is just a paper clip. We'll go attach it to the hole that we drilled earlier. Kind of pull it tight. We'll take the lure itself, drop it down into there, grab a hold of the eye, pulling it tight, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bend these tabs out right here, grab some duct tape, hold that down. Okay, so it's time to make the mold now. This right here is a new product that I'm dealing with. It's by Copyflex. I got it sent to me, so I'm going to try this out. It's a 50-to-50 ratio, so mixing should be very, very easy on this. Before I pour the silicone in, I always like to paint part of the lure itself. So after having the mold sit for a few minutes, I didn't quite like the level of the silicone. So what I did is I cut a couple of pieces of plexiglass, and now I'm just going to insert them along the sides. And what that's going to do is it's going to raise the level of the silicone around our lure. I just wanted it to be a little thicker around the top. So okay, this box has now set for 24 hours and the silicone is completely dry. So now we got to pull everything apart to expose the mold. Okay, so now what I'm going to want to do is going to want to cut into the mold. Aha, there it is. Right inside of there. Okay. And there we go. A perfect mold. So now we're going to mix up some material and pour it inside there and pull out our plug. We're going to actually give it a little notch right here so that we have a place to pour our resin in. We're now at the molding process, so we're going to get ready to mold everything. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have to put some mold release right here into each one of the molds. So we're just going to spray that inside of them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some casting resin. It's a two-part, part A and part B. And we're going to mix that up. And what I did was I went ahead and set up some containers right here with part A and part B. In these right here, we have a micro bulb filler, and what it is tiny glass spheres, and it looks like a powder. But what that does is when I mix it with resin, resin's very solid, so it's going to allow the lure to sink. If I want a floating lure, I want to put these tiny glass spheres inside of the resin, which will allow it to float, much like wood. So I'm going to go ahead and put all this together and mix it. I'm now going to go ahead and pour it into the mold itself. Shake that a little bit. Okay, I'll let those sit for 15 minutes or so, and then I'll come back and demold them. Perfect reproduction of what the rear of the lure looks like. So that's the rear. A little cleanup work on here. File this down, take this off, connect the two, and we'll have some very similar looking lures that I can reproduce over and over again. Demold time on these is 15 minutes, so once I mix the epoxy and pour it into the mold, 15 minutes later I have a lure. I'm going to wash this off in hot water so all the mold release comes off it, prime it, and then I'll paint the lure, and we'll see how it looks.